Hello and welcome back to Hindustan Astrology. I'm Katya, and in today's video we're going to discuss the August 2020 new moon. Okay, so this new moon is going to bring a lot of energy to us and a lot of renewal in a very strong way. It takes place August 18th at 10:40 p.m. EST at 2 degrees of Leo in Magha Nakshatra. This means the Great One and spans from 0 to 13.2 degrees of Leo, and the symbol is a royal throne. This is the star of power, and the fixed star Regulus rules this nakshatra, the heart of the Lion constellation, which is believed to contain our ancestors' souls in between incarnations. People born with this nakshatra prominent in their birth charts are natural-born leaders. They often inhabit authoritative positions and have large, generous hearts and have a very strong traditional sense of value. They can be greedy and thirst for power and wealth, have a deep loyalty, and can be arrogant and elitist. Their anxiety can push them towards transformation, which is what leads them to greatness, but they must be careful of classicism and snobbishness. Leo is ruled by the sun, and Magha is ruled by Ketu, making these two planets the stars of this new moon. In Persian astrology, the star Regulus is ruled by Jupiter and Mars, giving it the nature of other stars that are also ruled by Mars and Jupiter, which are great pride, grandly liberal, commanding, cosmopolitan views. It gives violence, destructiveness, military honor of short duration with ultimate failure, imprisonment, violent death, success, high and lofty ideals and strength of spirit, and makes its natives magnanimous, grandly liberal, generous, ambitious, fond of power, desirous of command, high-spirited, and independent. Regulus marks the beginning of the 8th nakshatra in the Hindu system of astrology. And Magha also means the bountiful. A severe austerism belonging to the Shudra caste and favorable for acts of disgrace, destruction, deceit, imprisonment, beating, burning, and poison when containing the moon. Those born on the lunar day will be wealthy, fond of hills, merchants, valiant, and can possibly be women haters. With moon here at birth, native will be wealthy, religious, contented, well-served, and fond of life. Magha rules grain boxes and the lips and the upper mouth. It also marks the beginning of the 8th manzil, which is the Arabic lunar mansion. Al-Jaba, the forehead. Strengthens buildings, promotes love, benevolence, and help against enemies. With moon transiting here, which is what we have, it is a great time to sow, to plant, release prisoners, but take no purgatives. When Sun is conjunct the star Regulus, which is what we have on this new moon, there will be power, authority, great influence over friends, honor and riches, but violence, trouble and ultimate disgrace and ruin, sickness, fevers, and benefits seldom last. People that are born with Sun conjunct Regulus are Cindy Williams, Wilt Chamberlain, Barbara Eden, Liam Payne, Antonio Salieri, Jacques Leroy de Saint-Arnaud, Ray Bradbury, River Phoenix, Princess Margaret, H.P. Lovecraft, Archie M. Griffin, Cornelia Stuyvesant, Alicia Witt, Brody Jenner, James Degorski, Dorothy Parker, Don King, Coco Chanel, and Leonardo Conti. When moon is conjunct Regulus, which is what we have on this new moon, and also people that are born with this, there is occult interest, powerful friends, danger from enemies and false friends, gain from speculation, public prominence, great power, honor, wealth, benefits seldom last, violence, trouble, and sickness, makes women high-spirited and independent. When Mercury is conjunct Regulus, which is what we have on this new moon, there will be honorable, just, popular, generosity, abused by opponents, fame, gain through high position. All of these qualities are possible. People that are born with Mercury conjunct Regulus are Gene Kelly and Archie M. Griffin. Now let's take a look at the transit analysis this day. I always do my charts from Washington, D.C. as the place, because I want to see how it's going to affect the authority figures in the government and also how it will play out across the United States, as this is where I live. On this August 2020 new moon day, we have Mercury almost exactly conjunct the sun and the moon in Magha. This is the star of power, and people in authority will be very vocal about patriotism, standing up for their country, and leaders that are already in power will have the upper hand. US President Trump has his ascendant and Mars in Magha, and Mercury is almost exactly conjunct his Mars today. He will definitely be forceful with his words during this time, and having Neptune retrograde means that he will say things that reveal the truth, albeit in an arrogant way. When Neptune is direct, he represents everything we think of him: illusion, delusion, mysticism, but deceit and denial. But when he goes retrograde, that veil parts and we see the truth. In Washington, D.C., this new moon in Leo is happening in the 5th house of education, children, and speculations. Leo is the sign of children, and education rules the 5th house. So indeed, this is all about the schools reopening and the struggle between in-class and online learning. Having Neptune retrograde in their 11th house means that the truth will be revealed and spoken in greater communities regarding these issues. Rahu is conjunct Venus and Gemini in their 3rd house, and this points to what we value: money, but also women in the media speaking out about their values. Indeed, women are at the forefront, as the fixed star Bellatrix was the star of the June 21st solar eclipse, the female warrior star. We know the US presidential Democratic VP now, Kamala Harris, and this is the first female VP candidate ever. Having the new moon in Magha means that it is somebody already in a position of power. Venus is in Ardra Nakshatra, whose symbol is a teardrop and represents disasters. Words and speech in general by Washington will be full of tragedy and events that make us cry. Indeed, this year of 2020 is full of catastrophes and heartbreaks. And on this new moon, the news out of the US Capitol could be just reflecting all of the sorrow felt by the collective. The tenuous Jupiter retrograde, Pluto retrograde, and Ketu conjunction is in DC's 9th house of higher education. And after the college blues scandal, we saw many celebrities and the wealthy elite get prison time for their crimes. But many of them are actually serving home sentences because of the health pandemic. Universities are struggling with if they should close altogether or have students return to campus. Here in Bloomington, Indiana University has canceled all of the sports for the fall semester. This is $60 million in revenue lost. They're also providing special housing for students who have tested positive for the virus, as everybody who comes onto campus has to be tested immediately. Venus is giving a trine aspect to Neptune retrograde. So in personal relationships, we will have lies exposed, but there is a strong possibility of romance, and great music could be made at this time. Let us not forget about Mars. He is Gandanta in the first degree of Aries, conjunct Uranus retrograde, and in the first house of the DC transit chart for the new moon. This means that accidents could happen in the capital city, and there could be intense fighting words that cause major upsets at this time. Congress has been trying to pass another stimulus bill, but the Democrats are tacking on more and more money for special programs that have nothing to do with the pandemic relief that so many citizens need at this time. Something has to give. And on this new moon day, we could actually see them come together to some sort of agreement. Saturn retrograde is in DC's 10th house of government for this new moon, and still in Uttara Ashada Nakshatra, ruled by Ganesha. This points to the Republicans, whose symbol is an elephant, having the upper hand during this fight for the stimulus bill and winning the battle. He is aspecting Neptune retrograde by his second aspect. So this means that this party is actually speaking the truth at this time and spending money. Having the Jupiter retrograde, Pluto retrograde, K2 conjunction 12 places away at their back and in the sign of Sagittarius, the centaur, shows that the Democrats, whose symbol is another horse, the donkey, will be the enemy at the back of the Republicans, using the manipulations of dark agendas to get their way. Now let's take a look at this new moon through the 12 signs. Remember, these predictions are general for each sign and are for the next 2 weeks. Read this from your sidereal moon or lagna, which is your ascendant sign, and then read it from your sun sign. To find out your sidereal signs, go to the link that I put down in the comments to find the Vedic astrology chart calculator. You must use your sidereal positions. Do not use your Western signs for these predictions, please. Aries. The areas in your life of children, education, and creative projects will have a fresh start during the cycle, and your greatness will shine. Things and information that were hidden before in those regions will come to light, whether good or bad. You have put a lot of value into your communications and may have felt frustrated in seeing the payoff, but this phase of the moon will bring fresh energy to you. Be careful of accidents to the head or headaches at this time. Do not forget to rest your head, otherwise your body will suffer. Anxiety could be bad at this time if you don't take control of it. You could have an eureka moment regarding ideas or new partnerships. So this is excellent, Aries. Taurus. This new moon is highlighting your nurturing powers, and you will receive fresh energy in your home and real estate investments. The reality of your hard work is being revealed in your career, and the truth is being revealed as to how others perceive you in your career, whether good or bad. Be careful of spending too much money right now, as it may come to you during these 2 weeks. You have been frustrated with your luck, but be persistent in your work and it will pay off. You have some male enemies at your back right now that are planning a sudden attack. Forewarned is forearmed. Turn around to see who these people are, as they are persons in your career. Gemini. The new moon will bring renewed power into your communications, and if you are a writer, this will break the writer's block that you have been experiencing. You have put too much energy into relationships lately, and now it is time for some self-care. Do some facials, spa treatments for the face and body, and take a mini staycation. You have earned a few days off. You may have had some elders pass away recently, and perhaps are waiting on the lawyers to handle the inheritance. So during this time, be patient, as Saturn will go direct next month and bring to you what is owed to you. During these 2 weeks, you will be researching universal truths, and occult secrets will be revealed. You may have an influential man suddenly appear in your network circles that will bring to you huge benefits. Cancer. This August new moon is taking place in your second house of speech, money, and blood relatives. This new moon will bring back your power to you regarding finances, and an inheritance or money from other people will come through during these 2 weeks. Your health in general and sleep have been suffering due to the stress of female enemies in your family. It is time to take back your power in these areas. Get more sleep. Force yourself to go to bed earlier. There is a new man in your life that is bringing you recognition in your career. Next month, when Saturn goes direct, plans in either romance or business will go forward, as they have been stalled since May. Leo. This new moon is all about you coming back into your power, and also remembering your ancestors and their sacrifices to make you who you are. You've probably been dissolving relationships for several months, and all of that focus on that has taken you away from yourself. It is time to take your control back. You've been working extremely hard since January, and recently you have put a lot of energy into higher education. There could be a man who suddenly shows up in your education field who suddenly brings you some good fortune. You may meet some new women in your communities who help you to uncover universal truths. Virgo. This new moon is bringing a lot of power to your dreams, and foreigners will help you to regain your sense of personal power. If you have been sick, then this cycle will reveal to you the truth behind your illness. Women in your career are helping you to get recognized, and there could be a breakdown of dark power structures in your home, real estate, or things you inherited genetically from your mother. You may suddenly come into money from inheritance or other people during these 2 weeks, and this may be due to a man. You must transform your health now, or it will voraciously take a turn for the worse in the form of a serious illness. Libra. There is a great power taking place in your circles of friends and colleagues. Creative projects could take off right now. You could even be thinking of going back to school or dreaming of getting into school if you have already applied. You value your father's teachings at this time, and what he taught you in regard to how you communicate will pay off now. You may be thinking of moving or buying new properties to sell if you do not want to move your home. You could suddenly meet a man who brings to you a lot of high energy in romance and business. Scorpio. Finally, there is a newfound power in your career, and you are receiving the recognition for the hard work you have done. You have probably been spending a lot of money recently, but other people's money will come to you during these 2 weeks. You may have been keeping your mouth shut, perhaps in regard to what your siblings are doing, or in media in general. Secrets in the home will come to light now, and you may not be home much because of work. There is a renewed vigor in your work, but do not burn the candle at both ends. Get proper sleep or your health will suffer. Sagittarius. This new moon is bringing to you brand new power and good luck. If you are a teacher or in higher education, There could be some news regarding a recent windfall, and your father could also bring fortune to you, perhaps via your siblings' communications. You have probably been frustrated in regard to finance lately and not saying much about it, but the women in your life have been working on your behalf to help you out with money. If you have children, they may have renewed energy in education, and you yourself will approach your creative projects with brand new strength. Capricorn, this new moon cycle will bring new energy to your study of the occult sciences, and if you have been waiting on an inheritance, there will be a fresh start in acquiring it. It is time for you to speak your truth and especially articulate what you have learned in regard to hidden sciences. Be careful of female enemies these 2 weeks and let go of spiritual leaders who have only manipulation and dark agendas in mind in regard to how they treat you. You may have been physically slow since mid-May and even have had bad headaches. Once Saturn goes direct next month, your thoughts and actions will pick up speed. You're putting a lot of energy into your home right now, and you may suddenly acquire new property. Or your mother's property will come into your power at this time. Aquarius. This new moon will bring a fresh start and invigoration to your partnerships in romance and business. You have been encountering and enacting new ideas of yourself, perhaps even reinventing yourself the past several months. Leaders in your communities have gone through losses this summer, and you value and appreciate their sacrifices. You have been helping people in underprivileged places overseas, and nurturing those who are less fortunate is how you are choosing to work. Your words have power right now. Recognize this, and you may suddenly say something or get news from a man that springs you into action. And Pisces. This new moon brings focus to your health, and getting enough sleep is imperative at this time. It has been difficult for you to have enough time for yourself the past several months, but during these 2 weeks, this lack of attention on yourself will show up as health concerns. You may have had a loss of strength in your career this summer, but money will now come to you via your mother or mother's family or real estate, and this will directly affect your home life. Men who may be blood relatives will suddenly help you in regard to money, but be careful of your words. You may unexpectedly say something that you will regret later. Okay. So that is the August 2020 new moon in Leo, Magha Nakshatra. As always, if you like this video, please click the like button, please subscribe to my channel, and also if you want to see how this new moon is playing out in your own chart, you can always book a private consultation with me, and I'll put the link below in the comments. And yeah, I hope you guys are doing well and that you and your families are okay. And I'm sending much love and blessings to you at this time. Thank you so much. Namaste.